What are the chances at any point during the 2024 NFL draft that the Jets select a quarterback at any point during the draft?
I would say pretty decent. I lean more towards like a day 3 type situation, but if there's a guy they really like, if they trade back in the first round and they pick up a second round pick or an additional third, and there's, one of those guys sitting there that they love, I don't see why not. I mean, I guess I would see why not. And that's what I just said before, is that this group is on the hot seat. And that's why a lot of these teams don't wind up doing the developmental quarterback, because why am I going to develop a quarterback for the next guy kind of thing?
Right.
But like everybody's coaching and GMing for their jobs, and you get it to a degree, but also the Jets just need to have better contingency plans. And so I think they should absolutely go and spend whatever you got to spend to sign a Jacoby Brissett, a Tannehill, whoever it is, to be the backup quarterback, and draft somebody somewhere in the 2 to 7 round range and hope you strike gold. And then if you don't, then you try again next year, and then you keep trying until you stumble on a guy who can be a great backup or a future starter. Because there's guys like Brock Purdy in every draft, that maybe not every draft, because some years there's bad quarterbacks, but there's always a chance you might stumble on something. I'd rather take a chance on a quarterback on day 3 than a linebacker or a safety that's never going to play for you kind of thing. And so take a risk on a guy like that is what I would say. And I think they will. I think this is the year they draft a developmental guy, especially because Rodgers is turning 41. And if they really do believe they're going to win this year, everybody's going to come back. You need to have a plan for the future. So if they can go into this offseason and hit a lot of their needs before the draft, then you could start doing best player available, and you could start thinking about the future a little more. And maybe that's what their goal is to you don't want to go into the draft like they did last year. Everybody knew what they needed in that pick, and then you saw the Steelers jump ahead of them and all that stuff. So if they can hit a lot of their needs in free agency, you shouldn't bank on free agency fixing your team, because I think that is a recipe for disaster a lot of times. But to answer your question, I think there's a decent chance they draft a quarterback. I don't know when, though.
All right, let me pour one out for who you just said, Zaire Barnes and Jarek Bernard Converse as day 3 picks at the non-quarterback position. All right, let me recalibrate this question. Let me be as specific as possible. With the 10th overall pick in the first round, what are the chances the New York Jets select a quarterback?
I would say pretty low. I'll say 10%, because it's not zero. Yeah. Not zero, but again, it would take them having everything they needed already coming into the draft, or somebody if Drake May failed to 10 and they think Drake May is the next Peyton Manning or something. I don't.
Yeah, we're making it up. I understand speculation.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If they're really high on the guy, I can't imagine Rodgers would be happy that they use a first round, he's on another team that they use a pick where they need all this other stuff on a QB. But if you think a guy's a star, you go and get him. If the next Patrick Mahomes is in the draft, then you don't resist the chance to get him. Or that's an opportunity to trade back and get a haul also. But yeah, I think that would be the only scenario where a guy they absolutely love is there at 10, and they're like, we need an offensive tackle, but we're not as sure the offensive tackle is going to be a star, but I'm pretty sure that this quarterback is going to be. I think Joe Douglas is smart enough to not let that guy pass by him.